all the latest Houston Texans news. It is Chopping Them Up with the 512 Texans. And here is your host, It's That Boy J512. Y'all already know what it do. Yeah. Let's chop them up, baby. What it do and what's the deal, baby? It is that boy J512 coming to you with another edition of Chopping Them Up with the 512 Texans, man. I hope y'all have had a great draft weekend. It has been crazy, but we're about to break down the last rounds from Saturday. It took me some days to kind of just comprehend and kind of digest everything that's been going on, but man, has it been wild. And let's get into all the Nick Caserio craziness. The GM was definitely putting in work, and let's go ahead and discuss. So we know in round one, we took CJ Stroud and we took Will Anderson Jr., the defensive end from Alabama. Then we went and took the center, Juice Scruggs, and finally we got Tank Dell, the wide receiver from the University of Houston, to add some speed to our wide receiver core. So that was what we did in rounds 2 and rounds 3. So we were primed to go into Saturday morning with round 4, and we had picks, I believe, 104 and 105. And I was trying to get back, from the gym and try to get ready, hit the shower and kind of get here to kind of catch the beginning. And I hopped out the shower, and all of a sudden I couldn't find Houston on the little ticker at the bottom for 104, 105. They were both gone, and I was trying to figure out what exactly happened. But man, Nick Caserio putting in work. I believe he traded pick 104 to the Philadelphia Eagles for a third-round pick next year. So we ended up recouping a third-round pick that we traded to Arizona, losing our third round. We now have Philadelphia's third-round pick next year for a fourth round this year. And for pick 105, I believe we dropped back 4 spots to pick 109, and we also got a fifth-round pick this year that we were missing. But hang on, man. Those picks did not stay the same as far as what we transferred down. I can kind of tell you what numbers they were, but I believe outside of pick number 2, every single other pick that we came in this weekend with were traded, flipped around, and I don't think we picked at any of those positions outside of pick 2. But with pick 109, the 7th pick in the 4th round, we took Dylan Horton from TCU, Texas Christian University. He is a defensive end that may be playing a little bit of defensive tackle when he comes in here. He has kind of a good run stopper. He can kind of get to the quarterback when need be, but he looks like he could be a good rotational player, maybe switching out with the likes of Jerry Hughes, Jonathan Grenard, and now Will Anderson Jr. So he is a nice young piece to put on that edge position, and we will see exactly what Dylan Horton can do. But I think that he will be a solid piece as he was for TCU on their national championship run. Now, when we traded out of the 4th round, I was a little upset because there was a linebacker there that I thought would fit with D'Amico Ryans kind of scheme, and he could do good things. And I was like, I can't believe we're passing up on him right here at 104, 105, and then essentially 109. But I just kept watching the draft and like, man, nobody's taking him. And we come into round 5, we trade up with the Rams, and we come in with pick 167, and we get the guy I wanted, linebacker, Alabama, Henry To'oTo'o. Henry To'oTo'o, started out, I believe, with the University of Tennessee. He was solid over there, but he really came into his own when he got with the University of Alabama. I believe, putting him there next to Christian Harris, you will see what these two Alabama linebackers can do together. Henry To'oTo'o, man, he's just a beast. He's all over the field. You can watch Will Anderson highlights, and you'll see Henry To'oTo'o, number 10, flying around the field as well. You put on Henry To'oTo'o highlights, you'll see Will Anderson, man. These two guys going back together will be solid. He was, first team all conference pick as a senior. He started all 13 games. I think he ended the season with 93 tackles, 8 of those for loss, with 2.5 sacks. Now, putting him into this DeMeco Ryan scheme, I am super excited to see what Henry To'oTo'o can do. And I think he was a steal in the 5th round. And I thought he would have been a steal in the 4th. But, hey, good job, Nick Caserio, with bringing him to the Texans here in the 5th round. Now, I don't want to sit here and act like I know much about the center position because I do not know a lot. But in round 6 with pick 201, we traded up with the Vikings to get Jarrett Patterson from Notre Dame. Jarrett Patterson gave up 0 sacks, I believe, in his whole career with the Fighting Irish. He is a solid center, but he's also played guard. So he'll be good to be able to rotate with Juice, if we need to, or also with any of our guards, if Kenyon Green or Shaq Mason. I believe Jarrett Patterson is a good key addition to our depth. Some people have him, maybe being a better center than Juice. We'll have to see. But to have, more solid skill set at that position is not a bad thing. And I'm happy to see that we went out and got another one who also, had time playing left guard. I believe in his senior season, he got a foot injury, but he still kind of, played in that left guard position for the Fighting Irish and still gave up, again, 0 sacks in his career. Not saying I know much about this position again, but I was happy with the selection of Jarrett Patterson at 201. Now, we traded back in again, I believe, with the Bills at 205. And, man, Nick Caserio must have been making phone calls to everybody. I think this man loves to trade up and say, hey, I traded up for you, young man. You are my guy. I have faith in you. And if this strategic skill works with these guys, then, hey, I'm all for it. But, man, almost every single damn pick he traded up for. So he was putting in work. But at pick 205 in round 6, we brought in a stud wide receiver in Xavier Hutchinson from the Big 12, Iowa State. He did a great job with Brock Purdy and then kind of moved on. I believe that he finished, 3rd in the FBS with 107 catches, 7th with 1,171 receiving yards, and he led Iowa State University with 6 receiving scores in 12 starts. To be a first-team AP All-American and first-team All-Conference honors. Xavier Hutchinson, I think, will be a great addition to our wide receiver group, who a lot will say is really thin, but I think we have a lot of talent, and with C.J. Stroud, I believe he can make these guys look better than they possibly are until they can get their footing and be that good. But when you have addition of Nico Collins, Robert Woods, Tank Dell, Amari Rogers, Xavier Hutchinson, and bringing back John Mechie III, which is like another draft pick. Man, I am super excited to see what these wide receivers can do with C.J. Stroud. So finishing off the draft in round 7, pick 248, which was another trade from the Eagles, but this one we set at to make the trade. We got a stud safety named Brandon Hill from Pittsburgh. Brandon Hill, had honorable mentions in the ACC. He finished his, 2022 season with 67 tackles, 2 pass breakups. I can't read. I apologize, guys. He started all 12 games, and then he opted out of the team's bowl game to prepare for the draft. He is a solid player. I, for one, can sit here and say that Nick Caserio had himself a draft, and this draft is going to put us in position for many years to come. I believe that this is going to be the foundation of what DeMeco Ryans and Nick Caserio can do from top to bottom. C.J. Stroud to Brandon Hill in the 7th round. We had positions of need, and I believe we addressed those, and we got depth in positions that we needed help in. Now, our team is going to be scrappy. We're going to be fighting. We're not going to have a ton of stars yet, but we have a youth movement going on in H-Town, and we will do well. I am going to say with this group, if they can be coached right, and none of us know what Bobby Slowick's offense is going to look like, but if we can get it going, with how we competed last year with Lovie Smith-led team, I believe, even though we only won 3 games, we should have won more than 3 games if you go back and watch those just slip away from us. I believe that we can be, 8-9 and competing for a wild card this year. We can even be competing for the division because the division is not that strong. We have a lot of youthful quarterbacks coming into the AFC South with, of course, Trevor Lawrence being the star in Jacksonville. And then you have Malik Willis and or Will Levis in Tennessee probably Will Levis. And then we also have Anthony Richardson going to the Colts. So, there's a lot of going to be a look at who got the right quarterback. Was it Bryce? Was it Levis? Was it Anthony Richardson? Was it C.J. Stroud? We'll have to wait and see. But a lot of those quarterbacks are going to be in the AFC South. So we'll see which guy made the right decision, which GM, which coach. For all sake of the Texans, let's hope that it's C.J. Stroud. And let's hope that we can get it rolling, man. But I think CJ, even if he isn't the elite or the chosen one, his accuracy and arm strength in this Bobby Slowick offense that's a Kubiak-Shanahan kind of hybrid, I think he will succeed. And it's going to be fun to watch, man. And don't, cut out the Dameon Pierce, Devin Singletary in the running back position. We did not draft a running back. But as far as undrafted free agents, we got a guy, and I forget his name, or actually I just don't know how to pronounce it. It's like XAZ Valade. I'm sorry if I'm really butchering this man's name, but he looks like a star, and we actually paid him $275 or $2.75 million, and potentially as an undrafted free agent in like a 5-year contract. So it seems like we really have faith in this guy. I believe that he has a higher contract than most 6th or 7th round picks. But I was watching his tape. He reminds me a little bit of Foster as he can plant his foot and then make that kind of cut to where he needs to go and then kind of burst with his speed. He's going to be exciting to watch, and I believe that that's going to be my little sleeper pick to watch in training camp and in the preseason. So we shall see. We also got I believe his name was Jared Wayne, a wide receiver. And I'll look more into these undrafted free agents and talk to you about those on the next podcast. But up and down, the draft has been good. I give this draft an A. I see like NBC Sports giving us a D. That to me is just clickbait and haterism, you know what I'm saying? And we can't have that stuff up in here. This is the Texans' time, and, they're going to shine, baby. And with the 2022 rookies, we'll see. As long as they can kind of take that step forward and don't hopefully have a sophomore slump, we'll see what Stingley, with Petrie, with Christian Harris, along with Dameon Pierce can do. I'm going to put John Mechie the third in more of the 2023 class. But we have a lot of talent, man, and they're, a lot of them under 23 years old. So let's see what we can do. If we can kind of grow these guys and establish something special, then we can have something special for a long time to come. And props to Nick Caserio, props to D'Amico Ryans for going out, working together, and getting this draft right. I don't understand the hate that Nick Caserio was getting. I think the man goes out and makes good draft picks, and he is not as scared to make trades and make moves to go out and get the guys that he believes are the ones. So props again, man. I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. Let's keep this feeling going. Again, we'll have season tickets. We'll be out there in the maroon lot. So holler at your boys from the 512. But man, this is the draft, and I'm sure we'll be talking about it with much more enthusiasm and information to come. The rumor is May 11th that the schedule release will come. I want to see what kind of primetime games we have, and I think I might actually travel to one of the away games. The schedule don't look that good, but I want to pick one and go see another stadium this season. So anybody that's a Texan fan outside of the state of Texas and maybe one of these away cities, let me know, man. Where should I go? where is the city to see the Texans play on the road? But until then, man, let's keep this hype going, this enthusiasm train rolling, and remember, it's DIY. Let's do it yourself, because ain't nobody going to do it for you, baby. And I am your host, and it's that boy J512, reminding you, around here, it's Go Texans. Gia. Holla at y'all. Thank you for tuning in to Chopping Them Up with the 512 Texans. If you want to check out a video version of the show, check us out on YouTube at 512 Texans. You want to become a big homie? Follow us on all social media at 512 Texans. If you want to follow the host, it's That Boy J512.